Good morning, guys. Good morning. How are we doing today? Get that pause there. Good morning, everybody. Hope everyone's having a great morning so far. A little bit later of a start today. Till 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. Eastern time here in Florida right now. Hope everybody had a good weekend, good start to the week. What's today, the 22nd? We had a short month this month. Hope everyone's doing all right. I know we normally stream Mondays and Tuesdays. I've been on the golf course for the past 3 days. It's a rules official, and now then I played a little bit. I got some color. I got pretty burnt. Yeah, I've been on the golf course for the past 3 days. Everyone's doing all right this morning. Mark, good to see you. VJ, good to see you. How we doing, guys? Let's hop right into it. We're going to take a look at a couple pairs based off volume this morning. And then we're going to dive right into it in terms of looking at some potential setups, see if we can get anything good this morning. There should be plenty of setups. We had a lot of news yesterday, as I'm sure most of you know. News was pretty heavy yesterday. We had GBP news yesterday. That was at 4:30 in the morning, which we capitalized on that. If you guys were in the GBP JPY trade, capitalized on that. The Canadian dollar, we capitalized on that as well. Trading CPI, that was month over month, year over year, and trimmed year over year. So that was a good one for us. And then USD, we got the initial swing, and then the retracement we did not get. So we had a pretty good day yesterday. One loss and about 3 wins. Yesterday we were done pretty early, but it was a good morning. So again, a lot of news yesterday, and it worked out pretty well for us. We did not trade the NZD news. Did anyone else trade NZD news last night at 8 p.m.? It was official cash rate. I believe there was rate statement. Also, there was a press conference for the New Zealand bank. So, a lot of news yesterday. We did pretty well on it considering how volatile the markets are. But today we're going to look at, we got, no news really today at all. Excuse me. The only news that we have is the Jonathan Clark, good morning. The only news we have today is at 2 p.m., and that's FOMC meeting minutes. That may have a little bit of an effect, but yeah. So we're gonna take a look at some charts right now. We'll go top-down analysis as we always do. So we're gonna start with the 4-hour. We got a clear bullish move here on the 4-hour with GBP AUD. So if you're following along on your charts, just make sure you watch what I'm doing. No lower wick. We got shaven heads here with a support with an FVG. We're going to mark that green because this is a potential buy. Its previous high that we'd like to see it break is, let's see, 19 pips away, so we could look to ride those 19 pips, or we could look to see a break and possible break for it to go with a break and a retest here, or just a full break with a full body closure above the range. So that's going to be our first analysis here, and I'll write that out here. Yeah, with full body close above the range or strong bullish movement, because we did reject an FVG, which is a fair value gap. We did reject an FVG right there, which is super important on the hour light here. But obviously this FVG we're using is a result of the current candle we're in. So we're using this red candle right here, the top of this red candle, and we're using the bottom of this green candle that started. So this FVG could go away if it breaks it to go about halfway down on the line on the previous candle. So we're going to make sure that this FVG is intact before we are to get in here. That's going to be the safest thing to do. Let's see here. GBP USD on the hour one. I'm not really seeing anything. We're kind of in between zones here, guys. If we hop to the 4 hour, same thing. I'm not seeing anything. This could retest and go up this way, or this could totally break it and head and fill down this. There's no indication on this, so that's kind of just a gamble. We're not going to touch it. AUDJPY. Let's see, yeah, AUDJPY dropped off really nice last night. AUDJPY did drop off really nice last night. It had an FVG where it came up and retested here. So that's pretty nice. And then it came back down. And we do have some sort of support that we're at right now. So in order for us to touch this one, we're going to need to see something that indicates to us that this is going to reverse. If we don't see something that indicates that this is going to reverse, this isn't really that valid of a trade, because I don't know if it's going to go straight down here and fill this zone, or if we're going to get a reversal. So AUDJPY I'm going to keep as yellow because I'm not 100% sure what it's doing. Let's go look at EuroJPY. So EuroJPY on the 4 hour is extremely bearish, and it created an FVG between the prior 4 hour candle and the current 4 hour candle. And by prior, I mean prior before the big swing. So we're using this first candle FVG right here. It's low, which was right there at 143,390. And then we're also using the current candle's high, which is at about 143,295. So you can see there's an FVG here, and it is rejecting it, and we have range. I do like EuroJPY for the sell. When I was analyzing last night, I also had put this for a sell, so it is valid. We might look to sell this here. So far, this is my favorite chart. Let's take a look on the hour here. Yeah, on the hour, we had 3 rejections at the FVG. That's pretty strong with a new red candle. So we have a bearish candle followed by a bullish candle followed by another bearish candle. That is a really good sign. Typically, when you have bear, bull, bear, you've seen what happens. Bear, bull, bear, straight down. Typically, when that happens, it goes the other way. And inversely, you've got bull, bear, bull, and then it climbed. So we're going to wait to see what happens here, but we're going to need bullish closure on probably a smaller time frame to take a sell on here, but sorry, bearish closure. Closure. So we're not going to touch this yet. Again, we're just analyzing, but I really like the 4 hour chart here. Yes, you have a bit of an uptrend here, but we also have a channel that's moving up that we know is most likely going to drop. at some point, and we're probably going to look to fill this range right here. So until we get a little bit more confirmation, we're not going to touch it, but hopefully this FVG stays intact. So Euro AUD, let's see here. So what I had here was a trend line. This trend line was based on before this had happened. We're looking at Euro AUD right now. Now on this trend line, we were looking at possible downtrend here or ascending wedge to where it would all go to this area. This ascending wedge would take over, and we'd see it go all the way down here, consolidate in this area right here, and then we'd look for a move upwards, similar as we did last week when I believe it was either AUD NZD or one of the pairs that was last week. However, we had it break this trend line, and we had a higher high instead of a higher low. We had a higher high here, and we had a higher low instead of lower lows and lower highs, which would indicate it was on a downtrend. So we've broken this. Now that we've broken the pattern here, we could possibly look for buys off this FVG on the 4 hour, especially with such a long wick followed by a large green candle. So we could look for a buy here. However, we don't want to get faked out because, yes, it did break the trend. However, we're still in between two zones. Now, have we created a new zone, you may ask? Yes, we have created a new support zone. We've created a new support zone right here, or resistance zone, I apologize. We've created a new resistance zone right here, and this could end up being tweezer tops, or double tops, I should say. So we could have double, maybe even triple top, and this could be some sort of, we would need to see some sort of rejection off this area. So we're not going to touch Euro AUD right now, just with how it's really in between the two major zones here, if that makes sense. I don't like to trade in the middle. Like I've told you guys, trading in the middle is kind of a dead zone. So we're going to go, here is a new resistance, here's our new support, and then our major resistance is going to be right here. So if it does drive through here, we know that it could possibly fill this zone. So we're not going to touch this one for now. Euro AUD, that one's out of the question. USD JPY. Now let's take a look at this one, because USD JPY we've been trading quite a bit. This is one of my favorite pairs to trade, just because of the fact that it does really respect price action trading pretty well. Let's hop on the 4 hour. 4 hour again, USD JPY. To me, that looks pretty bearish, and we could see it fill the range down here. However, you've got a very, very small FVG right here that was created on this candle and this candle. If you can see, oh, that was a bad line. This candle and this candle. This one's high was here, this one's low was here, and we've created a very small fair value gap right here. Fair value gap right here. So that fair value gap is now acting as a support. However, that's on the 4 hour. It is acting as a support. However, I could see this filling the gap as well. So we're not going to quite enter yet until we have some more information. But USD JPY, this fair value gap certainly could end up being a support, and this drives forward. Or it can end up being nothing, and this range could be filled. This wick that has created range could be filled this way. So looking at this chart on a smaller time frame now, we actually do have an FVG as a support or resistance. So if we could get a tap off this again, this would be a great position to look at entering for a sell, being that we also have broke this support down here. we've broke this area of support, and it now looks like it's coming back up to retest. So we had a break, a retest of the FVG. Ideally, we're going to want to see something like this. So if we were to do anything on this, we're going to look for sells. Sorry about that, guys. We're going to look for sells with clear rejection of FVG and bearish closure. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. For us to enter this, we're going to need some sort of indication that this is going to sell downward. Because it's climbing right now to retest. Now, if we did think it was going to go this down, it'd be a good time to enter. However, we don't enter trades based off what we think is going to happen. We enter trades based on confirmations that are clear and valid. Just because I think this may go down doesn't mean it's going to go down. And that's where a lot of traders get into trouble. You get into trouble when you enter a trade based off emotion. You enter a trade based off what you think is going to happen rather than what you see on the chart. And that's a very clear distinction that needs to be made in order for you to become a profitable trader. So understanding what you're seeing and not letting your mind trick you into thinking you're seeing what you want to see is very important. You need to be able to confirm it with multiple different strategies or multiple different candlesticks, support and resistance zones, volume. There's multiple ways that you can confirm which way a trade is going to go. The more you have that align with what you think is going to happen is going to give you a higher probability. As of right now, we've got two. We've got that it's bearish on the 4-hour candle and it's rejecting an FVG resistance zone. So until we get one more closure, like a clear rejection of the FVG with a bearish closure, we're not going to enter this because that's not a good enough. It's not good enough right now. Right now, it's too much of a gamble, and the probability isn't as high as it can be. So that's why we're not going to enter anything yet. But coming up on this new 30-minute candle, we'll get some more information. All the JPY pairs should be looking like a sell. However, this one does not on the hour. On the hour, this looks like a clear reversal. We have a dragonfly doji followed by another bullish candle with a small FVG at the top of the candle here, but it's already broken that. So CHFJPY looks like it could be a buy. However, on the 4-hour, it's the opposite because you get to the 4-hour and you now see an FVG here that indicates this range at the bottom can be filled. Again, so this could just be a small retracement where it's testing the FVG and then we could get it to draw down again. Would it be a great time to enter? Yeah, it would because you'd get great profit, great positioning. However, again, not enough information. So we're going to go back to here. We're going to go back to our previous chart here just because I like what we wrote here. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to move it down to here because it's pretty much the exact same thing. Hopefully that makes sense. Tennessee, good morning. How are you today? Wow, AUD NZD. Interesting. 4-hour is extremely bearish. We're getting it to drop off pretty much through here, but we are coming up to a new support. So if you're looking at this and you see here that we actually are coming to a new support zone. Now this new support zone is defined by the previous low and the previous low before that. So we've now defined our zone and we're going to draw it out. Again, we have this previous low and we have this previous low down here. So that's going to define our zones. So when you're drawing your zones, make sure you're looking at the proper areas. And this is on the 1 hour. Now, realistically, this should fill this. Nothing else to it. This should fill this at some point in the future. And if you're looking at it, you got 13 pips. I'm not going to touch this. We're already in downtrend. I'm not going to touch this until we either get a rejection indicating a reversal or we get a breakthrough indicating that. Yeah, so we're going to unflag this one because we're not 100% sure. Now, Euro GBP. Let's take a look at this. So Euro GBP on the 1 hour is bullish. However, she did get rejected here on this hour FVG. If we go to the 4 hour, same concept. She could sell back down and actually fill this range. So there's a couple things that could happen here. And in terms of not knowing, we're not going to touch that because we're right in between zones. NZDJPY. Well, that's an interesting chart. I'm sure you guys would agree there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7-ish dojis in a row. This has no idea what it's going to do whatsoever. This has no idea what it's doing. Pips wise, it's just moving sideways 52 pips at a time. Yeah, we're not going to touch that. All right, GBP CHF. Now we have an interesting chart here. So we're going to zoom out a little bit so we can get a better picture, right? So let's go from the top down. We'll hop to the 4 hour. So on the 4 hour time frame here, guys, we've got a clear break and retest. And what I mean by break and retest is we had a break of this zone right here. We had it come up and retest. We've had it retest. And we've had it retest again. Now, we don't know if it's going to drive back down here or if it's going to do the opposite and go back up this way. So what we need to do is get some more confirmation as to what this is going to do. And the confirmation we would need is not there yet. So because of that, we aren't going to touch this yet, as we're not 100% sure what is going to happen. If we had a better idea of what was going to happen, because if you zoom in on this, you can see that on this 4 hour, you do have a bearish candle forming, but we did just get our 4 hour candle, so we don't actually have enough information yet to determine what is going to happen. Give me 1 second here, guys. There we go. Okay, so again, not really enough information here, so we're going to hold off, and we're not going to touch this for as of right now, just due to the fact that there's nothing really there. Sorry, guys. Okay. AUD-USD. AUD-USD looks extremely bearish as well. However, we are at a new support zone. So we're going to need some sort of confirmation here again. So we can draw our support zone right here. And we see that we've had 2 areas of it rejecting the zone. However, we are still on a downtrend. So in order for us to decide what's going to happen here is we're going to need to see a full closure below this zone or a full closure above the FVG with a bullish candle, indicating that this is in fact reversing. However, what we've seen is previous here is we had a break, retest, retest, break, retest. I wouldn't be surprised if we had another retest before we had another break, if that is what was to happen. In terms of market structure here, this is respecting the market structure pretty well due to the fact that it has clear support and resistance zones that are pretty much intact. They've gone a couple pips either way, over and under. However, they are still pretty respectable in terms of the zones that they've touched, and if they've Stayed respecting those. So we're not gonna touch AUD USD either. That's not really something that I'm interested in. Euro AUD we looked at. GBP JPY. Let's see. Interesting on this one. So on GBP JPY, here's what I like about this. We're having a full break and retest. So in between here, it was in between here for days at a time. Days at a time, it was in between here. This whole area, we stayed right in between. Now, all of a sudden, we have a break and a retest of the zone, and the goal would be for it to shoot up this way. Now, our next zone is going to be this area right here. This was our next high, or it was a low on the way down, but it is our next high with this area right here. So this is going to be like our range 2. Our range 2 is going to be our next target for if we were to be taking buys. So I'm going to draw this, and I'm actually going to change the color of it because it's a mini zone here. Let me see if this lets me change the color of it and make it like red. Does it let me do that? Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't really let me change the internal color of it too, does it? Yeah, it does. Okay. So that's our second range right there. Now, the thing that I do like about this chart is on the 1 hour, we do have a long wick 2 hours ago. We had a borderline doji, and this candle is now moving upward. Now, on the 1 hour chart, we have an FVG we need to break. So if we reject this FVG, that means we're going to be sitting in negative for a while, and we could possibly be sitting in negative down to this lower FVG, which is going to be right here. So realistically, if we were to enter this trade right now, and for it to stay valid, it could have a 27.4 pip downswing before we actually entered it, or before it actually moved upward. So in order to get in position-wise at the best area, we're going to want to hold off for a little bit, unless you want to sit 27 pips negative. Now, I know most people don't want to sit 27 pips negative. They get all nervous. The trade's going the wrong way. Did I make the right decision? So that's when you have to understand, in terms of your strategy, is your strategy A, to just figure out the trend and get in, or is it to figure out the trend and have more confirmation? If we get in right now, again, we're probably going to be getting in prematurely, and we're going to see some sort of rejection again off this zone down here. We don't want to get in prematurely. I still will consider GBP JPY as a buy, but we're going to need to see some more confirmation, so that's going to go up this way. Hopefully I'm clear on that one, but we're going to say buys with rejection of previous FVG. And we can take a look at the 4 hour. The 4 hour as well, candles getting smaller. We're going to want to see some sort of green candle here, some sort of reversal. But again, this could still go down to here before it reverses, and we don't want to sit negative. So what we're going to put for this one is buys with rejection of previous FVG. As well, and bullish candle closure. And I'm going to make that green because this is a buy that we're looking at. So what I've put here is buys with rejection of previous green FVG, which is this one right here, and bullish candle closure. So we're going to want to see it reject and have a bullish candle closure to indicate that we are in fact reversing after we're retesting after a long uptrend, and we're not just going to come back down here and get faked out by this break of the previous zone, because we don't want to get faked out. USD CAD on the 4 hour, I can tell you right now it's most likely going to fill this before it retests and goes back up. Just looking at it right here, you're probably looking at a retest here. Um, this is kind of retesting this previous candle high right here at 1.35298, so 1.35300. But you got two long wicks that rejected this FVG. Sorry, guys, need a drink there. So I'm looking at a sell here. USD CAD, looking at a sell all day. It's probably going to fill this. Obviously, we were on an uptrend. We had such a long candle. You got a wick. It's most likely going to fill this wick, similar to every time after a long uptrend. I'd almost be willing to enter this right now. I have enough confirmation for USD CAD right now where I would feel comfortable entering this. So let's talk about it for a second before we make any decisions. But, all right, so we had a prolonged uptrend, right? Let's take a look at where we did have some issues breaking in this area too. We had a prolonged uptrend. Every time after a prolonged uptrend on this pair, you get a candle, a red candle with a long wick. You get a red candle with a long wick, and it fills that wick after we have a prolonged uptrend. We had a resistance support here at FVG. However, we also have this long wick that's showing that this is reversing. This is also a bearish engulfing candle. And the next candle went halfway up the body and respected the previous body's candle high. So if you look right here, it respected this previous candle, which was right there. We had a rejection there. We have a full body engulfing bearish candle, and we have a wick. So we have almost 3 confirmations here to sell on USD CAD. I'm looking at that right now as my number 1. Good morning, Adiel. He's looking at AUD USD. We can take a look at AUD USD in a second. Nope, not touching it. I can tell you right now, I'm not touching AUD USD. Nope. Not touching AUD USD. Anyway, back to USD CAD. Again, the hour candle, rejection. If we wanted to wait a little bit, we could. However, USD CAD is going to be my favorite one right now. Now, we did just get a 30-minute candle, so let's hop down to a smaller time frame before we are to enter. Now, to me, what I'm seeing is, yes, we did have a very small FVG here on USD CAD, and it is rejecting it, so we are having a bit of an uptrend. So on the 30-minute time frame, this is not looking as strong for a sell. However, we've still had this respect to this whole line right here. So this high right here is still respecting this to an extent. It's respecting this right here. We can confirm a downtrend because we have lower highs. Here's your high, so lower highs, and lower lows. Here's your low. Now, if this is the next high right here, this would be a lower high, and we'd expect another lower low. So we've got a confirmed downtrend here. In addition to a confirmed downtrend on the higher time frames, we have rejection on the FVG on the 4 hour. Or I'm sorry, it was on the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, we've got a rejection here. This could fill this wick and try and reject again, so we may wait a minute before we see this come back down. But typically, when you have a long wick on a 4-hour candle like this, we're going to get some push downward. So USD CAD's our number 1 right now, and we're going to look to sell this. We're not going to quite enter yet. However, we are going to look to sell this. We're not going to enter yet, though. We're going to hold off but we're looking for sells right now. And this is the most promising one. So let's go back and look at the 4 or 5 charts that we have talked about already. GBP AUD buys with full body closure above the range. We haven't gotten that yet. Let's check the 4-hour. Yeah, we haven't gotten that yet. Still does look like a buy to me, but we're going to need to see it break this previous high to get a better confirmation before we enter. So we can all agree, GBP AUD, there is nothing for us yet. AUD JPY, we said we didn't know what it was going to do yet. We're going to need to see something happen here. Either some sort of sign of reversal or some sort of sign that this is going to keep dropping. Euro JPY, again, we had the rejection. We had the rejection of the FVG on the 4-hour. Let's hop to the 30-minute. Again, on the 30-minute, you got a lot of small, tiny ones leading up to this FVG. We get a bearish closure here. We're looking at a sells to drive down through this zone. I really like this trade right here, this Euro JPY. It's got a bunch of tiny little ones. Typically when that happens and you got a bunch of little tinies, you see what happens. Bunch of tiny ones, and then followed by a bearish candle here. You're going to get a reversal and some sort of swing downward right here to fill the zone. So we are going to still wait for more confirmation here, but Euro JPY is going to be my second favorite setup right now. USD JPY. We said sells with clear rejection of the FVG. Let's go to the 4-hour here. We did have clear rejection on the 1-hour. We did. Yeah, this 1-hour rejected very strong. USD JPY, another favorite of mine right now. Here's what we're going to want to see. Here's what we're going to want to see on this one. Because it is still on an uptrend, we do still have an uptrend here. If you can see, we are still on an uptrend. It's still probably going to tap this because here's your trend line. Actually, let's get a little bit more accurate. And we have a closure below the range here, a rejection on the FVG. You could make an argument that this is valid to enter right now. However, going to want to see it break that. Breaks that, we're golden. But you could enter this. All right, and again, we're going to have to wait for this one to reject for GBP JPY. So we've got our top three. We've got USD CAD, we've got Euro JPY, and we've got USD JPY. The good thing about this is 2 USD pairs coincide with each other. The USD CAD, USD JPY, we're both looking at sells. The Euro JPY and USD JPY, the secondary pair is JPY. So we are coinciding 3 charts that are looking very similar, all with the same currencies in them. Now, our job is to just decide which one is the strongest. I'm going to go with USD CAD or USD JPY. They're both pretty strong right now. I would say USD JPY is going to be a little stronger than USD CAD for a couple reasons. One being that USD JPY has a much longer rejection. However, I will say on USD CAD, I may be able to get in at a better position right here. But if we go to the 15-minute time frame, 15-minute, we had a full rejection again on an FEG, which is a really good sign on USD CAD. And then on USD JPY, we also had a full rejection on the FVG on the 15-minute candle. So both these trades are looking really solid. The only downside to USD JPY is that it's on an uptrend. And between where it is and the uptrend line is 24 pips. So if we were to look at potential profit here, USD CAD has a lot more room to drop, closer to 35. I like USD CAD for the sell. So here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to wait until we get the next 15-minute candle. If the next 15-minute candle gives us an indication that this thing's going to drive down, we're going to enter this. Let's see here. I just got to pull up my broker. Didn't even have my my broker up. So if you're listening, we're looking at getting in a couple trades here, guys, and I'm liking the way they're looking. Don't you love that noise? All right, so we got 2 more minutes to decide whether we're going to get into this, and we are now 45 minutes into the 4-hour candle. Yeah, that rejection right there is so key with this fair value gap being down here and this wick. I really like the sell on USD CAD. I really like the sell on USD CAD. Euro JPY, I also really like the sell. We've had all this tiny movement. This is probably going to drop off and fill this, just like what happens here and here and here and here. I really like it. I really like all of these sells, guys. All of these sells look good to me. The only reason that USD JPY doesn't look as good to me is because we did have that confirmed uptrend, and the distance from here to here is short, meaning the potential upside and profits is a lot smaller. So in order, we like USD CAD, Euro JPY, and these are the 2 trades that we're looking at this morning. So I have a lot of you guys ask me in the comments, or in, not the comments necessarily. Hold on, let's look at getting in this trade first. Let's see another rejection here. But anyway, while we wait for this, I have a lot of people ask me, how do you know when to get in trades? Well, I just took you guys through my whole process. My whole process is I look at 5 or 6 different charts. Then I draw what I want to see. I put some notes in, what I need to see to confirm that it's moving that way. Then we wait for the confirmation. And the confirmation is something that we just got. USD CAD. So I'm going to type this in. I think we're going to sell USD CAD here. Yeah, so let's go USD CAD. So if you're with me right now, yeah, we're going to sell USD CAD. I'm getting in right now. I'm just going to type this to the group. And let me make sure that I'm in on both of my accounts here. I entered 4 times. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go short position right there. Our take profits, actually, I'd really like to see it fall down here. And our stop loss is going to be the top of this FVG, which is, well, we could go up here for 27 pips, but you know what? I'm just going to go bottom of these candles. A little bit higher than the top of the FVG, so like 18.9 pips. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put USD JPY, or I'm sorry, USD CAD. So USD CAD, sell. Our immediate execution is, where did I get in? 1.35296. 1.35296. Our stop loss is going to be 1.35506. 1.35506. And our take profit 1, we're going to put, what's 10 pips down? Our take profit 1, we'll put 12 pips down, so 1.35196. Our take profit 2, we're going to put at this line right here, 1.34988. And our take profit 3 is going to be our long shot, 1.34717. All right, I'm going to send this out along with the chart. Let me just save this chart image here. So you guys see we entered a USD CAD as a sell. We are currently in this trade. Let me just get this out to my groups here, and we'll be ready to rock and roll. Yes, we're opening trades, Tennessee. We just took a sell on USD CAD. Took a sell on USD CAD, guys. Selling USD CAD. Let's see here. All right, so we are we sent this one out. We're in this trade. I'm gonna send this to everyone. Okay. Yep. So we're in this trade, guys. USD CAD as a sell. If you guys want, we can go through as to why we did this, but pretty self-explanatory here. Let's go from the top down. 4 hour time frame, massive bearish engulfing candle here. We have a long wick and we have an FVG down here. Ideally, what we're going to see is it fill this area right down here. If we hop over to the 1 hour, on the 1 hour, we've got a rejected FVG right here. So as you can see, there's a clear FVG right here that it's rejected twice on the 1 hour. So again, we may see some movement between here, but it's rejected this. So we're looking for it to come back down. And then coming into this new hour, we're going to see that hopefully it will fill this wick down here with rejection on this previous high right here. So if you see, we have this area right here that it's pretty much rejected twice. If you want, you could re-enter right in this area. But yeah, we're taking sells on USD CAD. And then when you go to the 4 hour, like I said, we respected the middle of this candle here, which was this body here, and typically we're going to see some sort of downward movement after it attempts to push upward and break the next area, but we have not seen that yet. So we're going to hold on and watch this one. We could also look at Euro JPY. Euro JPY is, let's see. Again, possibly reversing. However, that FVG is still being respected. So we're going to just hold on to this trade for a minute here. We're in the trade. The max we can lose is 16 pips. And our profit right here is close to 57 pips. So we're going to sit in this trade. There will be some movement, so don't be alarmed. There is going to be movement. But we are open in the trade USD CAD sell. We are open in this trade. And now we wait. Hardest part of trading. As we talk about every week, this is the hardest part of trading, is sitting and waiting. Couldn't find my cup this morning. I had to use this mason jar. And we got 7 more minutes till a new candle, guys. So we're going to see what happens here. 7 minutes until a new candle. And as we're watching this, we're seeing again a rejection of the FVG. We did not have it break that FVG on the 15. So granted, it's moving up towards it. We still had it respect that FVG for 45-ish minutes. So that's what we're looking at right now, is that respect of the FVG. We had a break of a total support and a retest. This is the retest here. We had it retest it once. Now it's twice. 3 times it's retesting. And we're looking for this to move downward. So we did have 3 confirmations when we entered this trade, and right now we're gonna just watch and see what happens. In the meantime, guys, if you haven't already, please make sure you like the stream right over there, I believe it is. Yeah, I gotta pull up my streaming thing here. Yeah, it's like nope, over here. Yeah, it's gonna be over there somewhere. If you guys like the stream down there, give me a follow. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you're not already. You'll get all of my notifications when I post. I post a lot of YouTube shorts throughout the week with some tips and hints and tricks and, ways to navigate the market. Thank you, Tennessee. I appreciate that. We are getting some climbing going into this final hour, which is okay. Not really too worried about it. Again, we made our analysis here, and we're sticking to it. And I know that's an issue that a lot of people have, is they make their analysis and then they second guess themselves. And it's never good to second guess yourself. I made my analysis and I'm sticking to it. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. I always stick to my guns here. I'm not gonna back away because it looks like it may be doing something. I'm sticking to my original analysis here because that's what I believe is gonna happen. That's my original analysis and I'm sticking with it. So yeah, I mean, I know a lot of traders have issues with that too. Is they get into a trade and they're like, "Oh no, it's going the wrong way." You're rarely gonna snipe perfect positions where it goes exactly where you want the second you want it to. And I see that in the free group a lot too. I'll get like a thumbs down because it goes 10 pips the wrong way before it ends up going into profit. Perfect example: our GBP JPY trade the other day. A bunch of people were upset. They were like, "Oh, this trade is negative. This trade's negative." Like, yeah, okay, it's negative a couple pips. If you were sniping everything 100% of the time, you'd be the multimillionaire that we're all following. So you have to understand that there's going to be movement either way. Nobody snipes every position every time. They don't. But if you have your 3 confirmations and you're sticking to your plan. Yeah, the sad emojis on exactly. Adiel knows what I'm talking about. I saw that and I'm like, you have no expectations of how to trade, no understanding of where your expectations need to be managed, and it's crazy because it's just. I want to be able to say, hey, maybe trading's not for you then. Maybe trading's not the thing that you need to focus on. Maybe go focus on doing something else, because if you can't handle the fact that you're in a group where someone sends a signal out and it goes 10 pips the wrong way before you end up taking profit. I mean, we ended up hitting our take profit. I believe take profit 3 even got smashed. Yeah, it did, because of the news at 4:30 in the morning the other day. I mean, you could have caught like 120 pips if you stayed in it the entire time with no take profits. You could have woke up the next morning and been in 120 pips in profit. So it wasn't the trade analysis that was wrong. People just don't like to sit negative. They have a very hard time sitting negative, which I get it. It's not for everybody. It's not. It really isn't. Trading's not for everybody. Being able to stomach looking at a little bit of a negative, sitting negative a little bit is not the easiest thing to do. It's not. However, it happens, and it's something that you just have to deal with. It does happen, guys. We're getting a lot of movement in the opposite direction here. We'll see what happens here. Again, not worried. We set this up the way we wanted to. It is just a number, and it does take years. You're correct. But yeah, we are getting a lot of movement the other way. We got 2 more minutes until a new candle. We'll see what happens here. Take a look at these other ones. Same thing on all of these. The only one that's still going the right way is USD/JPY. Patience is a virtue. The love of luxury before you've earned it is death, and your choices have a ripple effect far-reaching more than you'd think. Yeah, I agree with you, VJ. That is that's great. That's a good one. That's deep. I like that. I like that a lot. It's all about the waiting game. You know? It's the patient waiting game. And that's what we're doing right now is we're sitting and waiting. And let's see here. Alright, we got a new hour candle with not a very large wick on that new hour candle. There's a pretty tiny wick there on that new hour candle. We're going to see what happens here. We're going to see some pretty big movement into this. Obviously, we're in the... yeah, we're going to see some movement here. We're trading in the New York session right now. So USD is a primary pair, as well as the Canadian dollar. 2 days after a bank holiday as well, I might add. We've had no buying pressure since the open. 0 wick. Alright, we're going to see what happens here. Yeah, well, we're just going to wait. Let's see what the 4 hour looks like. Yeah, 4 hour had some... See, but again on the 4 hour, guys, when you look at these reversals, I mean, look how high the wick goes before it comes back down on a lot of these reversals. You get it halfway up the candle, if not more than halfway up the candle before it comes back down. A lot of these times, like, so look at this one. This is almost the exact setup we're in, right? So you have a candle with a long wick after a long uptrend. You have a candle with a long wick after an uptrend. Look how high it ends up going up before it comes back down. So, again, based off the strategy that we chose, we're sticking with what we got here. Again, I'm not worried. Realistically, stop loss could have been up here, That's 30 pips. So, and I know I think I put it at 16 is what we had it at. It was like right above the FEG. What did I have it at? Let's see here. I had it at 135506. 1355. 06 is where I had it. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Do have a tiny FVG here on the 15 minute. Like to see it break that. On the 1 hour, you don't have an FVG. You just have this main one right here. On the 1 hour. We're getting some movement downward. But now we just wait. She's rejecting, all right. So we did get rejection off that FVG, which is a good sign. Again, we're going to want to see it come all the way back down to where we entered to get a real good feeling, because we could still see this come halfway down and go back up, similar to the way we looked at this when we had halfway and then a rejection. We could have halfway on the candle and then a rejection. So we're still sitting and waiting to see, what's going on here. On smaller time frames, though, you do have a green FVG. Hopefully we break through that. But that FVG is using this current candle, so it could no longer be valid with just a slight move downward. If it goes to the area of the previous high of the candle right here at the 1.35373 area, if we break that, this FVG is no longer valid, and then we move from there. Similar to that movement. Yeah, so there goes that FVG's gone. FVG on the 15 minute is completely gone. With downward movement. And we are getting the rejection that we were talking about on the 1 hour and the 15 minute. So there's some downward movement that we were looking for. 6 minutes into the new hour, 6 minutes into the new 15-minute candle as well. A lot of rejection there. And again, we did our top-down analysis, guys. I can't stress this enough. You see how I analyze. You see what I do. So from top to bottom, you see what I do from 4 hour down to the 15-minute and the confirmations I look for. You understand that there's a method and a process behind this before we enter something. I will stick to my method regardless of if it's a win or a loss, because I know my method net wins. My method net wins. So if you find a method, and your method doesn't have to be my method, you can use any method, but if your method net wins, then you need to stick to that method. I have a couple clients that like to hop between strategies, and I think that's the kiss of death right there, is to hop between strategies, because if you don't have something concrete that you use to give you confirmations of what to buy or sell, it's very hard to become a consistent trader. It's very hard to do that. Pick a strategy, perfect that strategy, back test that strategy, and use that strategy going forward. If you're gonna have losses with that strategy. It's so important as a trader. If you don't understand that concept, it's going to be very hard to be successful trading these markets. It's going to be very hard to do that. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. I can check AUDNZD, but we're not touching anything right now, guys. No. AUDNZD. What are you looking at on AUDNZD? A sell? At a support? No way. Why would you sell AUDNZD at a support right now? You have no indication that it might reverse here like it did here. We don't have any indication. You have no indication right here on AUDNZD, guys. There's no indication that this is either going to drive through or reverse. So what method are you using? I'm curious. What method is telling you that anything on AUDNZD? No. What would give you an indication that this is a buy? That's what I'm not understanding. On the 4 hour, you're going to buy against a massive downtrend like this? Absolutely not. No. I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole. AUDNZD, wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. You've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 18 hours of downtrend, and you're going to buy on a whim hoping it reverses right here. No, that's how you lose money. That's how you lose money. That's buying thinking something's going to happen with no confirmation. You have zero confirmation here. Yeah, it wasn't valid to begin with. You haven't had any reversal. You'd need a reversal. You'd need to see a bullish candle. And then after a bullish candle, you're going to need to see some sort of reversal pattern that breaks this FVG to even show that. You wouldn't know if this was a buy until you got to maybe like this area. So this is a kiss of death right here. But Rich Boy Tokyo, yes, that's what happens. If you hop around using different methods, it's very hard to become profitable. So if you're not sticking to the same method, how do you even know if it works or it doesn't work? I've been using the same method for a long time now. Yes, are we negative in this trade? Yeah, we're negative in this trade right now. But it just goes back to the point of, hopping around using different methods isn't going to help you become a better trader. It's not. It's not. And we had some movement in the opposite direction here. This is getting pretty close to one of our SLs, which is fine. Again, 16 pips was the max we can lose. We knew that. We're going to hold out and see what happens here. 01 493. And did we just tap it? We tapped it. We're out. We're out on that trade, guys. So yeah, this is the first live stream I've taken that we've lost on. It happens. I can't get mad. We're out. We are 100% out on USD CAD. All of these reversed on us. Euro JPY, USD CAD, and Euro JPY. They all reversed on us. So we're out on this trade. Now, what do you do from here? A lot of people are going to go look for another trade. I'm not going to look for another trade, guys. Based off that, I'm done for a little bit. I'm done for a little bit on this. I'm going to step away from the charts. Again, this is the first loss we've had on a live stream. I'm going to step away from the charts from here. There's no reason to stay with this chart, to stay on the charts right now. We took a loss, a 16 pip loss, so nothing too crazy. But we're going to step away from the charts, and we're not going to revenge trade. And we're not going to try and look for something else right now. We're certainly not going to buy this now because it reversed the other way. because we're still seeing a trend the opposite way. But yeah, so this is what happens when you lose, guys, and it's all about how you handle your loss. Did you just blow an account? If you just blew an account, that means that you are way over leveraged, using way too much of your margin to trade. Are you going to get emotional about it and get upset? Are you going to go make a deposit into a new account and try and retrade and make this money back? No. So there's a lot of things to learn from this. Again, we haven't lost on a live stream yet, and it was going to happen. I knew the day was going to come eventually. Didn't think it was going to be today, but it did. So what do you do from here? And it's the answer's simple. You step away from the charts. You step away from these charts. You don't look at the charts for a couple hours. You lost 16 pips, and then it is what it is. And in terms of 16 pips, what percentage of your account was that? For me, percentage-wise of that account, let's take a look. And this is important because I know a lot of people want to hear percentages rather than dollars. So let's see. I'll tell you guys exactly how much I lost. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So I lost $30,000, right? And a little bit less than $60 on the small account. $30,000 on a $631,000 account. What'd I say, $30,000? 4%. 4% on a trade. 4% of your account. I had a 4% drawdown. It's not the biggest deal. 4%. And I entered again when it was retracing. So a 4% loss is not the biggest deal because we have upwards of 10% gains on our account multiple days of the week. So if you look at it from a perspective, if you were to have the proper risk management, and this is why I preach this, is because these days are going to happen and these things are going to happen. I'm not happy we lost money, but it just goes to show how important it is to understand that things like this happen. Now, what could have been avoided? We could have waited until the new hour and seen that it was going up and decided to not take it, but we decided to enter based off the strategy that I'm using. And this strategy I'm still going to stick with. My next trade is going to be the same strategy. And the trade after that's going to be the same strategy. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. Again, obviously wasn't the best. Yeah, we did hit SL, David. It wasn't the trade that we wanted to happen, but again, going into this is trading. This is the real live trading. This is what happens. So does anyone have any questions? Otherwise, like I said, my process is after I hit an SL, I walk away from the charts for a couple hours. That's my method. I don't deviate from that, and that is my method. So that's it for me. I mean, I don't really have much else to say. Just it happens, guys. Minus 16 pips. I'm just going to send that out to everybody. Apply SL hit minus 16 pips. What do you want me to look at? GBP CAD. I don't even think I have that on here. GBP CAD, we'll take a look at it. Let's see. GBP CAD in a sell at the moment. Yeah, it looks good for a sell. The only problem is it's kind of similar to what just happened to us. GBP CAD. Yeah, RDL, that's a good point. It has been a profitable 2-month streak for the group. He's right. We have been profitable for 2 months straight in the VIP group. So, yeah, GBP CAD, I wouldn't touch it, to be honest with you. Tennessee, I wouldn't touch it. especially with this 4-hour FEG right here. The 4-hour FEG, the 1-hour FEG. We need to see a full body closure below here, or a full body closure above here to take anything. This is kind of in no man's land. So that's where I'm at on that one, guys. If you guys have any questions, let me know. We'll be in some more trades later today. Just not right now. I'm gonna step away from the charts for a little bit. We took a loss, and it happens. But I am gonna step away from the charts for a little bit, and we'll be back later today. So again, if you guys have any questions, let me know. You can shoot me a DM on Telegram. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day, guys. And if you're in the VIP group, you'll get some more trades today. All right. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I appreciate you guys joining again. Thank you. Hopefully everyone took something away from this. Again, it's how you handle your losses. So thank you, guys. I hope you guys have a great day.